this is something that could add to your happiness, your well-being, and your ability to love and be loved. And those are beyond any value you could ever put on them. So please, for your sake, shut every multitasking thing down. If you can bring focus, it will benefit you in tremendous ways. As we get into this and you start to see the exercises that we're doing, you'll notice why your brain is going to be like, I think we should fold the laundry. Quick, check your phone. I know there's a movie on you really want to watch right now, suddenly. Because it's going to try to like evade and get you out of the gritty pieces, but also the growth parts. And usually that point, right when resistance comes in the loudest, is the moment when we're just about to break through into something really expansive and beautiful. It's the moment right before like the tears of joy or like the overwhelming love. And if we could just hold on that little second longer or soothe and rock fear just a little bit more, then we get to the really good stuff. So I've been thinking about this lately, how assumption is like the killer of growth. So follow me here. Do you guys have this happen? And I'm giggling because this happens to me, where you're attending a workshop or someone's talking or something happens and somebody starts to say, there's this thing and I'm going to teach you this tool. And your brain goes, yeah, I already know that one. When your brain jumps in and says, I already know this, it shuts everything down. It's really like a form of resistance. It's a form of like trying to keep us in this small, safe space. So even if you've done something like what we're going to do tonight, when that voice pops up, I want you to reel it back in and just remind it, maybe we know what she's about to say, maybe we don't, but we don't know the results of today. We already know the results if we did this exercise in the past, but we don't know the results for today, because that's the thing we do. When we say, I already know this, we reach back into the past and we grab a hold of the memory of the last time we did this or the time we learned this or whatever. And our brain plugs in like, yeah, check. And it's not an algebra equation. It's humans. So it's always going to grow and be different. You can't say, I already know what 2 and 2 is, because we're people and 2 and 2 is going to be different every damn time you check. So you got to look and see what it is. And as I've been thinking about this, I think about how often, this one's a little cringeworthy even for me, you guys, how often our partners in particular go to say something to us and we do that to them. Oh yeah, I already know what he's gonna say. I roll my eyes before he finishes sometimes. Usually when I think, hopefully it's a joke, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's my resistance coming up. Sometimes it's a trigger. Sometimes it's just me being kind of bratty because of one of those things. And what happens is we shut down the possibility for growth. So that assumption is the killer of growth. Because what if your partner was about to say something totally different than they've ever said in that situation before? What if they were about to make the expansion that you've been begging and pleading and desiring them to make, and you shut it down with an eye roll, or you shut it down with a, yeah, I already know what he's going to say. Even if you let her or him finish, but your mind goes off, blah, 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 and makes up this story that it's the same as it was last time, 2 and 2 is 4, because he's or she's an algebra equation. And we look for the pattern and we assume, and then we just blow the opportunity to see the big expansion our partner might have been making. I'm going to guide you through a meditation to ground you in. And then while you're there with your eyes closed, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. And it's a little easier to do because we're on this Zoom platform than it would be if we were sitting in person. But I want you to imagine that we're sitting in circle together. And while I ask you those questions, I want you to not react. I want you to not say anything. I want you to not make any faces. I want you to not write anything down. I want you to, basically, I want you to be wholly present in whatever comes up. So here's what I mean. So if I ask you a question and we're sitting next to each other and we're having a glass of wine, and I ask you a question like, how's your partner doing? Your response might be something like, oh my God, let me tell you. And the reason I want you to hold those responses in is because sometimes our responses take us out of the actual in it feeling. So as this is coming up, whatever is coming up, I want you to just keep looking. I'm going to give you a little pause in between the questions so you can experience whatever's coming up. You might get answers. You might have thoughts come up. You might just have emotions come up. You might, what I want you to do is stay present with it, even if it gets a little uncomfortable, because I want you to look and see what's underneath. And we're going to look a little bit deeper. So if I ask you a question, what color is the sky? And you immediately think it's blue. Then I want you to do one of two things. I want you to sit with the answer, sky's blue. Okay, it's blue. And whatever emotion or feeling or sensation that brings up in your system. Or I want you to ask the question again. What color is the sky? The sky's blue. What color is the sky? It's blue. Sometimes it's white. Sometimes it's gray. Sometimes it's black with like lightning. I want you to see if there's a little more, because some of the answers are really going to surprise you. Some of this might shift your perspective a little bit, which could be really cool. So I want you to be open to that. We're going to go through a process to just kind of see where things are at and feel into it. Really, it's more about feeling than thinking. And then we're going to switch gears and we're going to get into a practice that's going to feel really good. So I'll tell you when we're switching gears, and you can be in this place of open appreciation. When I guide you through a grounding, and then I want you to stay present with whatever comes up while I ask the questions. All right, perfect. Okay, so if you can, find a comfortable seat where, if possible, your feet are down flat. So it could be like knees bent, feet down, or feet straight out in front of you. If cross-legged is the best you got right now, get cross-legged, that's fine. And then as upright of a spine as you can get. And if you're comfortable with your eyes closed, I'll have you close your eyes. If you're not comfortable with your eyes closed, close them as much as is comfortable. So just close them mostly to like you were looking down at your knees. And then soften your gaze. You know how you can kind of blur it out. Great. And if the holding still piece is hard for you, find a little bit of movement, find a little bit of rock or sway or something that helps you stay in that centered place. All right, here we go. Start with a couple breaths, and you can inhale however you want, but I want you to exhale out your mouth and let your shoulders relax on your exhale. One more time, exhale out your mouth. And then I want you to bring your awareness and start to move it down to your throat. Feel the air moving as you breathe. And then take your awareness and move it down to your chest. Notice your heart, the expansiveness as you breathe in, and the settling as you breathe out. And then take your awareness down to your belly. Let it relax and feel it move with your breath. Then move your awareness down to your hips and feel the seat beneath you. And then take your awareness a little further down to the bottoms of your feet. Notice the bottoms of your feet. Maybe wiggle your toes if it feels good. And then imagine that you could grow the most beautiful, strong, supple roots, but they were really flexible. These roots can walk right along with you, and those roots travel down into the earth further and further and further and further and further. And you can feel them as they move lightning speed through all the layers because they're so familiar and they're so welcomed into this space. And they keep going until they plug into the very centermost point of Mother Earth. And you could see that center point, whatever feels most nourishing to you. So it might be a golden dirt brown. It might be an oceanic blue. It might be crystalline. Or it might be that pulsating heartbeat, that golden honey-colored liquid light. Whatever color that center point is, I want you to imagine that it begins to pump that liquid honey-colored light up through your roots. Like pushing liquid up a straw, it moves with such ease all the way up your roots until it reaches the bottoms of your feet, and you invite it in. And that beautiful, nourishing earth energy starts to fill your feet, and your cells drink it up, just like a plant drinking water from the soil. And you drink it up your ankles and up your calves, all your cells just buzzing with happiness as they soak in this nourishment. And drink that energy up your knees, up your thighs, up your butt and your hips. Drink that earth energy all the way up your torso and your organs, everything getting nourished, supple. And drink that energy up your chest, into your heart, to your shoulders. Let it spill down your arms, all your muscles, soaking it in, all the way to your strong fingertips. Drink that energy up your neck to your chin, up your head to the very tip-top crown, and then pause and just feel the feeling of being completely nourished in this moment. Feel the feeling of being grounded. Make the affirmation in your mind, I am grounded and centered in present time, in my divine, adult, true self. And let's have just a moment to feel gratitude for the circumstances and the support that brought you here today. Gratitude for your inner being, your higher self, your essence, your soul, your spirit that orchestrated getting you here to this place, to this workshop that you were asking for in some subconscious or conscious way. Gratitude for everything that you're going to receive tonight. Everything that you are asking for and creating for yourself. And gratitude for the person that you are that shows up for your own expansion. And we'll take a moment just to breathe and affirm that we send everyone else's energy back to them with love. And I just want you to visualize everybody's energy, every energy that's not yours, just whisking away, whoosh, like the wind could just pull it off of you. And I want you to feel what it feels like to just be you in this moment. Just you. Without all the other energy that you feel and pick up on and take on throughout the day. Without anybody else's emotions or desires. Just you sitting in your space, in your body. And as I ask you the following questions, I just want you to be open to whatever comes up. and be present with whatever comes up. There's no judgment here. There is no right or wrong. There is only deeper understanding and witness. And you are already inherently perfect in your human imperfection. So there is no need to judge, just to be and to witness. Your first question, and I will speak these in first person. In what ways am I withholding love from my partner? In what ways am I withholding love from my partner? Stay present with whatever comes. It might be a physical sensation in your body. It might be a thought. It might be a glimpse of something. It might be an emotion. Next question. What resentment am I carrying? What resentment am I carrying? Next question. Does holding on to that resentment serve me? Does holding on to that resentment serve me? Stay present with the sensations. As you stay present, you allow them to pass through. Next question. What would it be like if I loved open-heartedly 50% more of the time? What would it be like if I loved open-heartedly 50% more of the time? Next question. In what ways am I not showing up for myself and blaming it on my partner? In what ways am I not showing up for myself and blaming it on my partner? Next question. How safe do I feel to open my heart? How safe do I feel to open my heart? Stay present with whatever's coming up. Resist the urge for distraction. You're almost there. You're doing so great. Next question. What can I do to help my heart feel safe to open? What can I do to help my heart feel safe to open? You're brilliant. You're doing it. We're going to shift gears and we're going to move into a practice to amplify our gratitude. So any way that you know automatically in your system, any type of gratitude and appreciation that you have memorized, you can call up that feeling right now, that feeling of appreciation. And I have more questions for you. Really focusing on that feeling of appreciation and radiating it through every cell in your body as we listen to these questions. What are the easiest things to appreciate about my partner? What are the easiest things to appreciate about my partner? Next question. What made me fall in love with this person in the beginning? What made me fall in love with this person in the beginning? Next question. What mannerism does my partner have that I enjoy? What mannerism does my partner have that I enjoy? Amping up that feeling of appreciation in your system until it radiates into every cell. Next question. What's one of my favorite ways my partner shows me love? What's one of my favorite ways my partner shows me love? Next question. What's one way that my partner has my back? What's one way that my partner has my back? Now I want you to hold this vibration. You may have juiced it up enough in your system now, this feeling of appreciation, that you can feel that it's a vibration. It may be humming or buzzing. I want you to take a screenshot and memorize it. Put a little mental note. I want you to remember how good appreciation feels. Purely selfishly, not for anyone else but you. Purely selfishly, how good appreciation feels. And just stay with it a minute. Imagine that your system was this incredible stew or soup, and right now you were cooking appreciation. And I want you to just imagine that you could stir it all together, and that as you were doing that, the flavors were melding. It's the most important part of cooking really good soup, is that you give it time on the stove for all the spices to integrate into everything else, into the broth, into the veggies. And I want you to do that with appreciation in your system right now. I want you to give it a moment to just stew, to seep, to infuse. Noticing the way that your body lights up to the feeling of appreciation. You might have so much appreciation in this moment that you are beaming. And depending on where you started, maybe you've just gotten yourself up to maybe a 2 or a 3 out of 10 on appreciation. And I just want you to recognize what a relief it is to be up to a 2 or a 3 if you were below that to start. Wherever you are, I just want you to notice how good it feels to have climbed up a little higher. And take a couple breaths, inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And you can make it an audible sigh if you like. Think contented. Just one more. And you can take your time opening your eyes really slowly. Really, really slowly, because I want you to be aware of what might be different. And you might have to look closely. And I want you to stay in that presence as you start to slowly open your eyes. Take as much time as you desire. I want you to look with new eyes and see what is shifted. What feels different. I want you to let it sink in, and I'm going to challenge you to stay with it. I want you to be that archaeologist starting to like peek around and look to see what might be different, because so much of the time when we allow space and invitation for things to shift, they shift in a really gentle way. Sometimes it's hard to spot. Sometimes the biggest change starts with this little fissure. And we look and we don't see that little fissure right away because it's such a hairline that it's not even visible yet. And so we go, oh, nothing has changed. Obviously, everything is exactly as it is. And we march right back to our old patterns. When if we would just wait a second, just breathe for a second and see what just happened. It's kind of like after a little earthquake and you look around to see like, did anything shift or move? That little fissure starts to open and then it bursts. And something new emerges, new patterns, new viewpoints, new vibrations, new way of seeing. So Relationship Alchemy is a 5-week course. It's designed to amplify love, really. I set it up so that it's like live action work, meaning all you gotta really do, there's gonna be little homework assignments, but they're like a couple minutes a day. Really, all you gotta do is get yourself to the class. It doesn't have to be live, it doesn't matter at all. But it's kind of like when you take a workout class at the gym, all you have to do is get yourself there, and then the teacher and the group and everything will motivate you, right? It's cakewalk once you get there. So this is the same. We're gonna be doing the practices like today in real time together. So if you just get yourself to the practice, either the recording or live, doesn't matter, we're gonna take you through them. In the course, we're going to unpack and release old baggage and resentments and all that stuff that keeps us stuck, that keeps us either repeating and sabotaging the same things in relationship over and over again, or continuing to shut ourselves down in the same relationship. We're going to clear that out of the way so that we can attract in love through our partner or through a new partner if we're single looking for a new partner. We're going to do a bunch of theta healing to clear some old stuff and change the way that what we're actually asking for in the story we're telling. We are going to be doing energy practices. We're going to work on real appreciation, like the deep kind that feels like an orgasm in your body, really. Changing our understanding of our partners and the people that we're attracting in, amplifying intimacy, love, passion, which, as we all know, leads to better sex, and learning how to actually inspire change in your partner. The other really cool part about this, and I want to commend all of you for showing up here tonight, because I want you to think about what's the declaration that you sent to the universe when you made time to do this. And that declaration is, my relationship is worthy of my investment of time and energy and focus, and I'm willing to do that. That's a powerful declaration that you're sending out. The vibration of that is up here. That's the relationship you want to be. If you say, I'm here and I want this relationship up here, and then all your actions say, I don't want to have to do any work. Mostly I'm just pissed off all the time. I really think my partner should do everything. I'm just going to sit back and be grouchy that he or she isn't the one showing up for stuff. Well, you're just cutting off your nose to spite your face. Yeah, you're probably succeeding at punishing your partner, but you're succeeding at punishing yourself way more. The course is based on one person going through it. There's an option for you to bring your partner in if they're all like already excited to do it. But the fact is, many of us like to grow and expand in totally different ways than our partner. We're attracted to opposites, which means that in a lot of relationships, one of you is going to think this is a really fun thing to do, and the other one is going to be like, I don't want to do that. And it's okay, because the best news in the world is that it takes two to tango, and it only takes one to stop the dance. Thank you. And you can send me a message or reach out in any way if you have questions, if you want to jump on the course, if you want to share your experience from tonight. I would love to hear. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and keep soaking up the love that you are, that you deserve.